I am. Hey there. There you are. I am Charisma with Charisma Cares Travels. I'm back with you again. For those of you who may not know me, I travel with my son who has special needs around the world. Um, and we figure out a way to save money doing so. Um, I also invest in real estate, which is what funds the majority of my travel. So, this month I have been doing a series where I have been talking about how to travel, whether for I would say your next big trip. So that may be a few months, that may be a few weeks, but how to do those and how to use some of these hacks, some of these tools to get it done. Because when you're traveling for a longer period of time, of course, it can cost a lot more. So, catch the other videos. They are linked in the description where we have talked about ways to use points, how to gain points, flights, different things like that, ride share, apps you should download, all of those things. This time we're talking about Airbnb travel hacks. So if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe so you can come back and you know when things are coming out by hitting that bell. If you decide you like this video, go ahead and hit like for me because that does help the algorithm bring videos to more people. So today we are going to talk about Airbnb travel hacks and more for your next trip. So as we know, lately there's been a lot of fuss out here about Airbnb and whether or not you should use Airbnb. You have hotels that you can use, you have hostels that you can use, and I want to go through all of that today and kind of help you decide which one is best for you. So, I want to start off talking about hostels. So, the reason why I want to start off by talking about hostels because it's kind of the easiest. It's pretty straightforward when you're looking at hostels. So, first, let me tell you, just in case you were wondering, women of all ages are staying in hostels across the world. There are some outrageously beautiful hostels, like the one I stayed in Greenville, South Carolina. Amazingly beautiful hostel. It had a coffee shop in it. It still had the bunks, but it was really upgraded. However, it still was a hostel when you walked into that bathroom. This particular hostel was actually more expensive than your average hostel. And I'm gonna pull it up here for you to see. It's called Modal, a bit more expensive, but it was considered a top of the line hostel. It was one of my first experiences with a hostel that I would consider my experience. I had experience when I was in Costa Rica, but that was a little crazy. So, this hostel, and I want to show you because there are, um, how do I get out of this? Okay. There are levels to this, right? So this was the Modal hostel. As you can see, it was really nice. You could have your private bathroom, you could have a shared space bathroom. My friend and I stayed there. Very nice hostel. So, I don't want you to feel like, oh goodness, if I go to a hostel, it's going to be the worst thing ever. It's not going to be nice. It's just going to look terrible. Where are you? I'm trying to make sure I'm still on here. Okay, so I don't want you to feel that way because that's not necessarily the case. But this hostel was a little expensive. This wasn't one of the cheaper hostels. I would say, let's see, let's put in a date. I don't want to put in Memorial Weekend because that's going to give us false pricing. Um, let's see. So let's look at a date so we can kind of get an idea of what this hostel runs here. So this hostel was $35. I thought it was more expensive, but apparently it wasn't. This hostel, $35 a night. Oh, okay. The private rooms can start from 125. So it really depends on what kind of room you did. $35, $60, $80, 125. So, that is your starting price. So you can get something as cheap as $35. So it really just depends on what you really want in a hostel. Hostels are more for your single people, not necessarily traveling with kids unless they're older, because a lot of hostels will have where they have to be 18 or older to stay in them. So just know that this isn't the place for kids. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone has stayed in a hostel that is okay with children, that may be a possibility. Now, when I stayed in Costa Rica, I stayed in a hostel, and I couldn't even tell you all what the name of that particular hostel was. But I did stay in a hostel in Costa Rica. And what we did, I don't even think in my mind I knew it was a hostel. Um, I it was the beginning of traveling abroad. Me and my family, we traveled abroad, and I created this trip to Costa Rica. Um, and we stayed in each place for 3 days. And I had the bright idea uh, to um, do 3 different types of things. So, the first place we stayed, we went to a beautiful resort, right? Outrageously beautiful resort. Pineapples were growing right outside our room. Top of the line resort. Then the next place we went to Manuel Antonio, and I decided we should stay in a hostel. Very first time staying in a hostel. I was trying to see if I could pull it up for you all, but I don't seem to be able to. Well, to give you an idea of what our hostel looked like in Manuel Antonio, our hostel there, my daughter and my sister were outside in the hammock, lying in the hammock, and basically cows came up and mooed in their ear. So this is what we had as a hostel in Costa Rica. So that was my very first experience with a hostel. We did do the family bungalow since I had kids and my mom was there. So we did the family bungalow. We left the lights on, thinking we'll come back, in the evening after we went out for a day. We left the lights on. We got back to the hostel, and we were met by bugs swarming in the hostel. Apparently, when you leave the light on, and I guess you're in the middle of the jungle, the bugs are attracted to the light at night, and they come inside. We also were met by 2 geckos at the kitchen window. So yeah. And one of the rooms, the door happened to be closed, and there were bunk beds. So me, my daughter, and my son was going to sleep in one room that had 3 beds, and then there was another room with 3 beds. So my mom and my sister were going to sleep in there. It just so happened we left the door closed, and literally we all crammed in one room because the bugs and the geckos were way too much. So, and that was a family bungalow, so we could bring the kids, but that was the difference in the top of the line hostel and the jungle in the midst of it, without no pools, no nothing like that hostel. That was a very new experience for us. And then the last thing we did on that trip was we went to like a Marriott Holiday Inn. It was one of those things we really needed that at the end of the trip because we had had a time. So Hey there, hola, K Stewart. Crypto fan hotel for June 15th. Any ideas? I mean, that's kind of up to you what hotel you want to do. I personally would go on booking.com, put in my dates, and look at the hotels in New York City. However, I will tell you, New York City is a very large area. So you need to know a little bit better what area you want to be in. What part of New York City are you trying to be in? You said for El Cheapo in New York City. There's no such thing as cheap that I'm aware of in New York City. Now what I would look into as we finish talking about hostels, I'm gonna wrap that up and I'm gonna tell you another option. So I've also done a hostel in Mexico in Cancun. Cancun. Yeah, I did the Mayan monkey. That was the first experience with a large amount of women. Six of us that did not know each other in person all decided to go to this hostel because we were going to the Exodus conference. So we all stayed in the hostel. It was definitely an experience. Um, from the conference, some of us not me, but a lot of people got COVID. So so that's the thing. It was right at the tail end of COVID. That's the thing about staying at a hostel, is that you're all together. I will tell you, this is not what my hostel looked like. This must be the one in Tulum, because the one in Cancun definitely did not look like this. I don't know. Maybe it was somewhat like that. I don't know. I don't know that my hostel actually looked that way. So, I mean, I don't want y'all to be fooled too much by these pictures. Let's click on the Cancun one because I feel like, oh, we don't have any pictures there. Yeah, I don't want you to be fooled too much. It was nice. It had a party vibe. There was always something going on. They had a board up where they would show you what was going on for the day. This is the hostel in Cancun. That they had this slide into the pool, but I don't know if the slide was not open. The pool was open, but we were out and about. They had a little kitchen. They gave you free breakfast. Very cute hostel. However, I did realize I'm not a hostel person. One of the ladies, she actually got a private room. I'm more of a hostel private room person. But at this point, I do know I could stay overnight in a hostel. I can't stay for long in a hostel. I can only do overnight. So, stay in a hostel for at least once in your life. Try it out, see how you like it. You can check that off that box, and it is what it is. So those are hostels. The next thing we talked about briefly last week, which I would suggest maybe trying for your New York trip, is a house sit. We talked about trusted house sitters last week. I do have a code there for you where you could save 25% off your membership. What is trusted house sitters? Trusted house sitters is basically where you watch someone else's pets and you get to stay in their house for free. I'm gonna be honest, that's the only way you probably will get cheap in New York City. Unless I can't even say unless you go to the hood, because just like everywhere else, even the hood in New York City has been regentrified. Like Harlem and all of these areas nobody wanted to go in before have now been regentrified. So I'm gonna go through this real quickly. We're gonna see if we can find a house sit in New York City. I went through it last week, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it today. But in case you did not catch that video, make sure you catch it to go in detail. But when you do house sitters, you pay a fee. Like I said, if you look at the link below in the description, I did give you a fee. Tell me, how long are you staying? You said June 15th. I'm going to throw in here June 15th to 20. I'm going to throw in here the month of June, to be quite honest with you. Um, So this is New York. A lot of these look like upstate New York because I mean we don't have these houses. White Plains, Greenwood Lake. But look at this one. This one's in Manhattan, May 21st to 25th. Not your exact dates, but you can put your exact dates. That's kind of upside down. That confused me a little bit. So you could do a house sit. For these are what 4 nights here. And you can stay right here in this apartment building. Let's see. Let's see. I see Jersey City. That's the only one I see there for New York City. It's kind of late at this point, but you could go in here, you could click on save this search. Every time something popped up for this search, it will come up for you. So that's an option. Go and do a house sit if you can do one. Do a hostel. Hostel is gonna be cheap as well. It's gonna be House sit is going to be free. Hostel is going to be cheap. So next, you could do a hotel. What is a hotel in New York City around that time going to look like? Maybe I'll be presently surprised. I'm not going to sign in right now. So let's see, New York City. We're going to say you're staying for a week. And like I said, if you want to know more about how to use trusted house sitters, I did go through it in last week's video. So take a look at that. So I personally like booking.com. I am a Genius 2 member. It's where you get to sign up to be, on the platform and you earn points. So I do get money off of hotels. So like I said, you do need to know which area in New York City you're staying in. This says this is Hell's Kitchen, 1131 for a week. This one is a Wyndham property, 2493 for a week. I mean, I don't know how low you're gonna get in New York in June. Booking now, to be quite honest, when you're booking, it's better to book earlier. You're gonna save more money if you book earlier. I mean, but I still don't even know how much money you would stay, how much money you would save in New York City. Let's see how low we can get here. Okay, 31st Street Broadway Hotel is $639 for a week. US Pacific Hotel, $763. Bowery Grand, $764. I mean, I don't want you to go too low because I don't know where you would be staying. So, oh, this is a hostel. So you can also find hostels on booking.com. That's how I actually found the Mayan Monkey. Oh yeah, so that's what I was telling you. You're probably going to need to do a hostel for that. You're welcome. You're welcome, crypto fan. Hey Shauna, how are you? Yeah, so to get in New York City, you may need to do a hostel. We could click on this 31st Street Broadway. Y'all, I just don't know what this hotel is gonna be like. Okay, so the reviews right here say it's a 4.6 out of 10. They do use a 10 rating scale. It just says disappointing. The pictures, I mean, the pictures don't look bad, but one way that you can look on booking, look over here. Staff is low, facilities is low, cleanliness, comfort, value for money. Location is the only one in the blue. It says it has a low score for New York City. So I'm one of those people, I like to look at reviews. So I will go down here. Oops, did I freeze? Let me see. Okay, there we go. So I will go down here and look at the reviews. So they even go up to 17 with reviews like that, with scores like that. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm a review person because you can put all the pictures you want to, make them as pretty as you want to. And no, even with the hostels I mentioned, you could put them in booking and read the reviews. So look at this one. Keep in mind, so they're from France. So, I do look at that as well because I don't know what, how they view things, based off of how we view things. I look at the country. I'm not saying just because they're from France, but the US, we tend to be a little bit harsher in our reviews, I think, because I don't know, we're a little spoiled. So they say our location's ideal, staff is friendly and helpful. He said he didn't see the negativity. 5-star hotel. This is just a budget hotel for somewhere to sleep, and it's cool for a few days. Let's see, this one, they want $120 cash deposit. Is that because they did not use a credit card to book their stay? That's something you have to consider when you book in these stays. You want to book on a credit card, not a debit card, because even if they didn't ask them for cash, they will pull cash out of your account. And it can take a long time to get that cash back. Versus if you did a credit card, they put a hold on your account and they just release it when you leave. Um, this one apart, it says this is a hotel, but based off of what they're showing, it really sounds like it's a hostel. It says apartment with shared bathroom. It says it's okay. Bunk bed is shaky. I don't know what that means. This one says not really. Location, nice guys at the front desk. Bathroom is dirty, tiny roaches, need a bigger mirror, can't walk between beds and wall. This really, to me, sounds like a hostel, even though it looks like they said it was a hotel. This one is unpleasant, extra small room, cold, security manager was rude. Um, to do laundry just once, you got to pay at least 21.25. Wi-Fi is $5 a day and didn't even work. So yeah, that's what you will get for 600 and something dollars in New York City. So, and that's for a week. So I don't know how long your trip is, but that's the thing. When we're looking at hotels, make sure you read those reviews. If you're going to look at hostels, read the reviews. Those reviews are going to reveal everything you need to know before you book that, so you don't end up in a disastrous situation. Try to use one booking agency. Agent, I like booking.com, but I also do use Expedia. I know when I booked my all inclusive in Dominican Republic, I booked it under Expedia because they actually had better rates than booking.com did. So make sure you compare the two, because they're not always the same. And I booked it through Expedia. And because I was a higher level member in Expedia, I didn't even realize it. When I got to the all inclusive, I had fresh fruit waiting. I had champagne and glasses waiting. So I did definitely have some upgrades because I was a frequent member with Expedia. So try to use those same booking agencies because that's how you get free perks. I'm also a Hilton member, I'm a Marriott member, but sometimes I'm not even gonna say sometimes, at this point, a lot of times it is less expensive for me to book that same thing on booking.com or expedia.com. Now, know that if you book on those booking agencies, you probably aren't gonna get your points. So if you want your points, you need to book on the booking agencies. Now, another thing that I would do is I would go to TripAdvisor. So, TripAdvisor, what they do now is they will actually give you the pricing. I don't know, my internet seems to be moving a little slow. They will, I don't want to sign me in. They will actually give you the pricing of let's see, let's look at New York City of a particular hotel. And it'll give it to you on every booking agency. So let's say, oh, now they're doing color coded. I did not know they were doing color coded to tell you which one, which dates are cheaper or not. So we'll put these dates in. That says the 14th. We'll say to the 20th. One adult to okay. So you could click on here. Oops, that did not share the tab. There we go. So click on here. I may have to plug in my computer in a minute. And then what you will see is right here. It tells you Expedia's price, Hotels price, and Hilton price. Now, keep in mind, if like for me on booking.com, I book on them quite often. So this is the price booking.com says, but then when I go on booking.com, it may take off an additional $15 a night for me. So that's because I go on booking.com and I'm this genius level, whatever. For Hilton, it's cheaper if you're not on a certain level. You may want to go through Hilton, go ahead and get your Hilton honors points. Plus, when you get to that Hilton, they have little perks for Hilton honors members. So keep that in mind as well. I'm going to get my charger. Let me know. Do y'all have any questions? Type them in the chat. So, oops, as I talked about in the other sections, the best way to save money when planning these trips is when you're doubling up. You've been using this platform, you're building points, using that credit card for your travel points. Using that credit card, we talked about how you can get Delta points when we go to the Starbucks. When you use Airbnb, you can get Delta points. We talked about, if you do a Chase Sapphire card, that's my travel card of choice, using that card on different things to make especially large purchases that you're going to pay off right away so that you can earn a lot of extra points. For example, I'm going to Africa in the fall, and for 3 one-way tickets was around $1,500. Not three, for 2 one-way tickets was $1,500. Well, I actually paid $300 for 2 one-way tickets. $300. Why is that? Because I use my Chase Sapphire card. I have been using it. I have been accumulating points. So for that reason, once it's now time for me to book, those points have all added up. So that's why I said, if you, whatever it is, kind of stick to that brand, stick to that travel agency. Because that's all Orbitz and booking.com and Expedia is, are travel agencies. Stick to those and start to accumulate those points that's going to benefit you. You're giving them your money. Your money has to go somewhere, right? To go on these trips. So make sure that you're putting it in a place where you're accumulating points and perks and things of that nature. So, hotels, I'm not going to sit on that very long. I just wanted to show you some of the little tools that I use to compare pricing, how I do those discounts. So I'm not going to stay on that too long because for the most part, we all know how to do the hotel. TripAdvisor, I do recommend them for reviews. They're going to have the most unbiased reviews because I mean, you can buy from TripAdvisor, but look, they're showing you all the other places you can buy from. So there's no reason for anyone to be biased on TripAdvisor. So they do give you very unbiased reviews, and not just for your hotel stays, but even for things to do in that area. They give you unbiased reviews there as well. You can buy your things to do here. You can buy it on Airbnb. I'll show you that, the Airbnb experiences. You can also buy it on Viator. I'm a big proponent of Viator. I recently became a affiliate, but I don't even know how to use the affiliate link yet. So I will put that in my arsenal because, as you know, affiliate links are a way to make money. But I'm just throwing this out here, not affiliate yet. Well, no link yet. But I love Viator for trips since we're already doing New York City. This is Viator. Since we're already doing New York City, you go in and you find your trips here. I do also have a couple of apps where I can book trips. I like to book a free walking tour when I first get in a place. I book a free walking tour, have them take me around so I can find all my bearings, give them a tip. Um, and I do that on freewalkingtour.com, and I just type in the city, or there's an app for that. But you can go here as well, book your tours, look at the reviews. I just like Viator. They do have a money back guarantee. Most of the time, they do allow you to do free cancellation, whereas something like Airbnb experiences do not allow you to do free cancellation a lot of the time, especially not to, a couple of hours before. So that's not the hours, that's how many hours I believe the trip is. But I do like that, and I do like that it's on a big booking agency. So I have someone to chat with, ask questions, whatever, when it comes to that. And then last thing I want to talk about is Airbnb. Last time we spoke, I let you all know Delta Airbnb is where I would recommend going because you can build up points there. So you could join the Sky Miles there, and you can get points with your Airbnb. We talked about this last time as well. You could connect your Delta Sky Miles card, and then you get 2 times points. So when you're looking at Airbnbs, people are always so funny about Airbnbs nowadays. They have so many fees. Um, it can get really sticky with Airbnb. At this point, everybody's familiar with Airbnbs. I'm just going to kind of throw out some tips that I found work best for me. And if you have some other tips, feel free to go ahead and throw them out there in the comments. So when I book an Airbnb, I do like to book monthly. When I book monthly, my Airbnb is less expensive. However, since I have been burned by Airbnb with that, what I do now is I will book a week in an Airbnb. And then after that week, I will look for somewhere to stay for the next month. If I like the place that I'm at, I will negotiate with that person, maybe to get a lower fee or to pay directly so I can get rid of those Airbnb booking fees. Because as y'all know, the booking fees could be hundreds of dollars by itself, which is absolutely ridiculous. So that's what I would do. I no longer book an Airbnb for a month. I had an Airbnb I booked for a month, was supposed to have good internet. Internet was lousy, but it worked on the roof. So since the internet worked on the roof, Airbnb said that my Airbnb did not lie. It did have internet. I just needed to go on the roof to do my work. I don't know how I was supposed to see patients outside on the roof or outside at the pool, but that was what Airbnb said. Their customer service is definitely not what it used to be. So do not feel like, oh, I have this Airbnb guarantee. They will help me. No, do not. Yeah. If they help you, that is absolutely wonderful. But I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10, but 6 times out of 10, they will not. There are people that are getting stranded. Their Airbnbs are being canceled at the last minute. You know, Airbnb is like, we'll help you find another one. Yes, you know, the host gets dinged, but a lot of times they're not helping you find another one. I had a issue when I was in Colombia. Um, got to the Airbnb at midnight because of the flight delays, all of that. Could not get into the Airbnb. The taxi driver said that wasn't a good area anyway. Airbnb was not helpful. They told me to go wait at a coffee shop for an hour or two while they try to get in touch with the host. I informed them that it was midnight there and I was not waiting at anybody's coffee shop for any hour or two while they get in touch with the host. I ended up going to a hotel and I ended up filing a complaint with them and having them reimburse me for my taxi and my hotel. So, you know, that is a possibility, but they won't always. I've never heard anybody else being able to get that accomplished. They told me they'd find me a new Airbnb because I wasn't going back to that area because the area wasn't even the area that I thought it would be. And they didn't help me. They did reimburse me for, like I said, the hotel and the taxi, but no, they did not help me find a new place. They did reimburse me for the stay. I had to prove that I did not stay at that Airbnb that I could not get into. But things like that, you know, so I've also learned if I'm coming in later, the first night I always get a hotel. I no longer get an Airbnb. The worst thing is to be looking for Airbnb and in the evening or at night, you may not be able to get in. The street may look a little funny. It's going to look a little funny to you anyway because you don't live there. So that's tip number 2. Do not do Airbnb if you're getting in late at night or even in the evening. If it's going to be dark, if those street lights are on, don't do the Airbnb. Go ahead, spend the money, do the hotel. I think with me, it's like, oh, I got to move the luggage from here to there. It's worth it. So that's the other tip with Airbnb. When you're looking for an Airbnb, I'm just gonna, when you're looking for an Airbnb, if you have kids, one tip that I've learned is to look for the green space. So we'll go back to Greenville, South Carolina, because you want to, if you're looking for like a park, you know, you're looking for an area that's family friendly. The easiest way to do that is to look at the green space. Are we sharing? Yeah, we are sharing. So, and this is easiest done on a computer. So here we can see the green space. So, you know, it's going to show me, hold on, let's see here. So like this green space, we can see this is green space. Okay, this is a park here. So that's what's there. Let's see, let's put it in the middle of a city. So this is going to show me that there's different little parks here that we will be able to go to. If we pull up an Airbnb, let's find one that's here. So we click on this one. Oops, go back. I don't want to actually go into it. So we zoom in here to this Airbnb. And what this is what I do now. I will zoom in, look at the street because it tells me it's right here, modeling circle. I will then go on Google. I'll go back to Google, not flights. I will go here to modeling circle. Um, South Carolina. I will go in here and actually pull up the address. I mean, when after you've been doing this for a minute, here's modeling circle. I can actually, so first of all, I'm pulling it up because I want to know what's near here. So I can walk to the supermarket. It's a major road, it seems here. Um, Walk to the supermarket. There's a Domino's. There's a salon, Mexican place, Mexican restaurant, sports center. There's the amphitheater. If I was going over here because I wanted to see some shows, there's the amphitheater, a car wash here, fire station. Like basically, I can see what there is to do around here. Because I want to know what's in the area that I'm staying. There's Hungry Howie's there. There's a laundry. Fairly residential place, but they have a couple of little things there. Then I can actually click on this. And well, actually, I can go here where it says layers and I can see the street even better. So if I look just right, this is modeling circle. This was modeling circle. If it's is that the same area? Is that the one in Greenville? But hold on, let me see. So modeling circle, modeling circle. So I would make sure it's the same area, but I can actually see what is going on here. And at this point in my Airbnb uh life, I want to see it. So I will go in the street view. So if you didn't see what I did, I'm gonna back up again. I'm gonna back up. So if you didn't, so these are the places that I saw, right? Modeling circle. These are the little areas that I saw, the restaurants, all those different things there um, that I saw. And so I want to make sure you saw what I did. I clicked on layers, I clicked on more, and I clicked on street view, right? So I can now actually see the streets. I can see the house because I use this for my real estate as well. When I'm looking at houses, I'll look and walk these streets instead. So basically, I can do a Google view of this street and see what this street looks like. So long gone are the days that I am surprised when I arrive at that Airbnb. I am using all the tools that are available to me. If you're wondering, does this work when you go over the country? Yes, it does. I did the same thing when I went to Mexico. Here, I'll pull another area. Mexico City. We'll do Polanco. We'll do the same dates. Apartment in Polanco. Of course, to read reviews, all of that. So I'm not going to go into that with you. Um, but I what I'm doing today is kind of giving you tips that help me to find my Airbnb. So this one is Lago and Avenue Rio San Juan. I don't know. So let's see. So this is the one that we are on. Which one are we looking at? This one right here. So I will go here. back to back to Google, and I'll type in the street, and I'm probably going to go back and forth a couple of times. Lago Rodolfo. Rodolfo. And um, Avenue, Ave, Rio, Wilson, Quinn, Mexico, Mexico City. I will put it in. Okay, make sure I'm still sharing. Go click on the street view here, and this works better if you're on a computer than on your phone. It's a little more difficult. So now I may not know exactly. I've walked this street before. That's funny. I walked all the way down and sat in this little park here. Huh. Y'all, I'll go anywhere, honey. I'll just be walking. Me and Cam, he in his wheelchair, me walking. So I can tell you this area is not that bad. Well, at least during the day. So, not during the night, yeah, I don't know. But we didn't go past this little park here, and the little guy was on the corner when I was there too. So this was our little park bench. Okay, so basically I'm going to walk this same street right here in Mexico City, and I can tell you this is what it looks like because, like I said, we sat on this park bench right here behind this guy. Walk this street. Do I really want to live by a large interstate? I don't. Do you? I don't know. That's on you. As you can see, there's no parking really here. It looks like there's a little, I don't know what this is, but there's a little place here. But basically, we do know that it is right around this street. Oh, okay. That's interesting picture there. So I will walk down this street. I will also go over here. I want to know what this street looks like around the block. So what does that look like? What do they have there? Anything for me to do? Any grocery stores? They got stuff for rent and for sale. That does me no good. I'm still walking because if I'm walking this block, I want to know there's a parking garage. I mean, me personally, I just see a bunch of rent and sale signs. This is not, it's a parking garage here. This isn't the place I would want to stay in. It just doesn't necessarily look like a bad place, but where are the stores at? Okay, maybe the stores are here. There's a KFC. Okay, now we're at the main stores. So right behind your building are the main stores. There's the Subway sign. You could get the bus there. There's a KFC. There's a lot of traffic on this street. There's a tail sale. So that's the thing. This is what I will do is I will walk these streets. So not only am I reading the reviews by Airbnb, looking at the pictures, going in, looking at the green space. Remember we said, look at the green space so you can see if there's a park there, you know, if that's something that's important to you. Know that you're around a lot of land, which there are a lot. There's a good amount of land in Mexico City. Oddly enough, with it being a major city, but look up the street, see what this looks like over here on Google. Put that address in, see what that looks like. That's a busy street. Are you going to be doing digital working? I'm going to tell you, these Mexican streets in Mexico City are loud. They're beeping. They're city. They're a major metropolitan city by all examples of the world of the name. So it's very loud out there. The loudness comes in. It's not like you got any special windows. A lot of times they don't have heat and air. So you leave the windows open to get air, but at least you know before you book this space what this area of town looks like. And that's what I want to find out. This is a place I may not have never been before. I want to know what it looks like there. Of course, I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna look at these pictures, but as somebody has been to a number of Airbnbs, sometimes picture, well, this one's a really nice one. It is in Polanco. Polanco is, the bougie area of Mexico City. So I wouldn't expect anything less than what I'm seeing here. There's a little child play area, gym. I wouldn't expect anything less in Polanco. Oops. Let me see. Let me share the tab. I'm sorry. So, all this little area. This is the ping pong pool table, not pool table, but all of the little areas that I was mentioning. I don't think you could see it before. Here, check in. They're not giving me any discounts. Again, Polanco's a very busy area. As you can see, their calendar is pretty full. Maybe we look at August. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at a month. Let's see. No, they don't give you discounts at this one. They stay pretty booked. They make their money. You're not getting any discounts at this particular location. Personally, if I'm staying a month, I'm going to see who will give me a discount, because I am staying a month. I do know Polanco is that area, so there may not be any discounts there. So I may need to go in and stay in another area in Mexico City. Uh, City. Doo-doo-doo. Let's see. I may. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting 4 because I know at 4 weeks they give you a discount. Sometimes I may not stay a full 4 weeks, but I may book it for 4 weeks because it'll end up being cheaper than me booking for less than 4 weeks. So this one they gave you a little discount. It's $9.56 for the month. So share this tab instead. This one it gave you a little discount here. So that's something to keep in mind. I do like that now Airbnb is asking, do you want to include all fees? So I did click that one. I want to know all my fees. Don't sit here and tell me it is. So let's see. This one says $9.91. That first one. Okay. So some of them will give you this. This is the price. And then once you add in those fees, then it jumps up another $300. No, I want to know all my fees. Go ahead and give me all my stuff at once. Now, Mexico City, they have condos, apartments, and they do a lot of rooms in Mexico City. So that's the other thing. This one, that's pretty cool. She's a life coach. So it looks like she gives you life coaching and you can rent your room. I mean, that's one way. I mean, I don't know. Is she doing life coaching with the room? Hmm. I don't know. But anyway, she said that she's a life coach. She throws that out there. But you want to go in. You see, this one is $554 for the month, before taxes. But let's see what the price will be if we did 3 weeks. Let me see. Hold on. So this is what I'm showing you. $554 for the month. So let's see what would happen if we did. And she's probably going to kick herself because she did not realize 4th of July was a holiday here. And that may be why some of us are looking. Let's see. A minute too. So this one, so it was $445 for the month, right? But a week is $364. You see that? So that's why a lot of times I'll book a month. So that's $559 a month. But if we go back a week again, Well, it says 967 now. Okay, so 967, and then we're gonna look at the week. That's 323. So it looks like she gave us a free week there. So I say that to say, make sure you look at the pricing for the week versus the month. Sometimes it's actually cheaper to do a month than it is to do 2 or 3 weeks. So you might as well just include the full month, get that discount. It doesn't matter that you're not staying there. You just let them know when you check out, so you're not responsible for anything after you check out. Keep it moving. It may just come out cheaper for you. Again, you may want to just stay a couple of days. Make sure everything in her place works. Because you may get somewhere and things don't work, things that you thought were going to be there are not there. So those are things that you want to do. So, any questions? I just kind of wanted to go over that quickly and some of the tips. I figure most people know how to use Airbnb, so I didn't see any need in doing that. But tell me any questions with anything that I went over at all tonight that could be helpful. Do, 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 do. So make sure, just in case you're typing anything in, go right ahead. If you like this video, make sure you press like. Make sure you ring the bell for more videos. We do have some different stuff coming up. I will be taking a little bit of a break during the summer. And in the fall, we will be going full throttle again on my trip to Africa. But if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Throw them. And this video will be up for you to take a look at. So feel free to put your questions there. I definitely come back and I answer questions. Tell me about your Airbnb experiences. Have you had nothing but good experiences? Have you had some nightmares? Are these tips helpful? Is this some of the stuff that you're already doing? Or was any of this new for you? So let me know. I do want to know if this is helpful at all. This is the first time I did a 4-part series like this, kind of telling you how to do the traveling and offering different, tips and tools and tricks and all of that. So I want to make sure that this was helpful for you all. If it wasn't, then I don't have to do any videos like this again. But if it was helpful, let me know in the comments. That way, I know to do this or I know not to do this. So that is all for me. That is the hour. I have showed you all everything I can remember to know right now. I'm sure there's more. If you have not looked at the videos that have come before this, look at those videos that's come before this, because there's other tips. So take a look at those. But yeah, go through that, figure out what you want to use, what's good, bad, whatever. I'm just trying to help you make it around this world however you want to make it, the best way that I know how. I'm glad Allison said thanks for sharing. I've been seeing some of this stuff. So yes, make sure you're using these tricks and tools, because Airbnb can be, it can be, it's a good and it's a bad. It is a necessary evil when you're doing long-term travel, but you want to make sure that you do it where it benefits you and does not put a wrench in your plans. So y'all have a wonderful night, and I look forward to seeing you in June. Ciao.